You're listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
This is episode 748 of the Dressage Radio Show, official podcast of the United States Dressage Federation on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products.
On tonight's show, we will be speaking with Evelyn, also known as Evie Lancione, the USDF Member Education Coordinator, about new exciting things happening at the USDF. We will also be speaking with my student, Lisa Lemke, who is the newest USDF Gold medalist, and she has also been an auditor of the Horse Radio Network for 8 years.
This is Reese Stanfield in Georgetown, Kentucky.
And I am Megan McIsaac from Oregon, Wisconsin, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show.
Well, hi, Megan. How are you?
Hey, Reese. I'm fabulous. How are you?
I love it. Well, it is summer, full time. I know you were at a horse show. How did it go?
It was amazing. I won the show ring instead of the warm-up with two of my horses.
We're going to be talking about that later. This is an important thing. This is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And how is your showing going?
Yeah, so we have a horse show coming up this weekend. I have been all over the place coaching. We had Young Rider Week last week, and then I was actually at a great barn, Laura and Patrick Wolf's in Indiana this weekend. So I've kind of been bopping around, teaching everybody, getting everyone ready for shows. Laura and I actually did a great test review, which is something that's good. I don't see Laura in person a lot. I see her virtually quite a bit. And so it was nice just to sit in her kitchen. She had all the tests lined up for me. She had videos from everything. And we took an hour of the clinic, and she's like, can I just have a video review? And we did. We sat down and we just took a second to look at all the videos. And this is a great time. That's a great tip. If you have time, you may have to schedule a lesson and pay for your trainer's time, but sit down and talk to your coach a little bit and just off the horse, have a cold beverage, iced tea, whatever you want. And I think that's a good way to do it. And I thought that was really, really productive, and I'm glad we did it. So that's also a hot tip. So I've been all over the place. We have a horse show coming up this coming week. Actually, the next 2 weeks, we have a recognized show. And then I'm taking my baby horse to a little unrecognized show, but we're really lucky. Yeah, we have a great schooling show circuit here in Lexington, in our area. So he's going to go there and do training level just to get out. And I have the young horse rider riding him. So I just have to groom him. It's great. I just show up and bring the horse, and it's beautiful. But I want him to get a little bit more mileage before I jump up there at a little local park. So looking forward to that. So yeah, so I love it. Well, we have a very special announcement. Glenn Hebert. He is here as our producer, but he's going to jump on. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Hey, ladies. Good to be here again.
Thrilled to have you.
And
welcome.
We did a special. You'll find it on your Dressage feed right now. If you go take a look, it'll be the last episode that came out. It was the Philip Parks Memorial Coaching Scholarship Fund episode that Reese and I did with two guests. Tell everybody who's on the special with us.
Yeah, we were thrilled to have Meredith Parks, Philip's wife, and Andrea Scott, a longtime student that we have both worked together. And we've worked very hard on this scholarship with the Canadian Federation. And we're really, really thrilled. I think it's a lovely episode. And Megan, that's actually you, me, Phil. We are all very good friends. And that's one of the reasons we're so thrilled to have you in his seat. It is a big seat to fill, but we're thrilled to have you. And I know he's shining down on us whenever we record and laughing up there with us. I know he is. So I hope everyone enjoys the show. It is announcing a scholarship. If you're able to donate any money, this is going to go for coaching in Canada for coaches that are going for a certification. And that was a big, Phil was a very proud certified instructor in Canada. And I know he would love this and that he's going to be able to help a young person or any person a young professional go into the professional ranks. So if you have any money to donate, we will have the links in the show notes, right, Glenn, for the next couple shows to give information.
And, it's nice to talk to Meredith again. And I know some of you, have heard Meredith on the show once or twice in the past. But if you want to hear Phil's wife on the show, then you'll hear her there.
Yeah. And we're thrilled that she was able to join us. And I know she's very thrilled to honor him this way. And it was really an easy choice. We kind of knew he was so proud of it. And we both, and Megan is also certified. We're very pro certification on the show and getting more trainers into that program. So I know he's going to be thrilled. So it warms my heart for sure.
As we're recording this, by the way, guys, I saw that they're going to announce the dressage team for the Olympics tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Of course, after we record.
Drum roll, please. I think we can all say Stephen Peters is on the team, right? Adrian Lyle and Helix look very, very strong. But Marcus Erlau this weekend and I think it's Kronsberg, he did it. He did it. I mean, he amazing. I think 75% in the Grand Prix, just nailed it. And that horse is an American horse. He's owned by Alice Tarjan, and Alice has been on the show before. She's an amazing rider, and Marcus has been her longtime coach. And this is an American horse trained by Americans. It's going to be good. I think we're really excited. I kind of threw a quick wrench in that game. So
very exciting.
Really, really showed. That's a young horse, but they say she's the most talented of all the horses out there. And Marcus, super rider, has never competed internationally. So going to go to Aachen, and they're getting a quick thing. But very exciting.
Thrown into the deep water. I cannot wait. I am so excited.
I can't wait. We love the Olympics around here. Oh my gosh. I love anything Olympics. I can't wait. I'm literally still I cannot wait till the opening ceremony. So I'm very thrilled.
I was reading an article today and talk about dressage taking the lead. Isabel Worth, of course, is the most decorated equestrian Olympian of all time. You want to hear her numbers? I have them here.
Yes.
She has 12 medals. She has won 7 golds, including her individual triumph in Atlanta in 1996.
Crazy.
Amazingly,
I saw that. Yeah,
get this. Amazingly, she has won team gold in all 6 games she has competed in.
Wow.
Insane.
Think about that.
Insane.
Not only that, she has 5 individual silver medals. She's turning 55 in July. Now, she's not been selected for the team yet. There was one person selected for the German team already, and there's 2 more slots, and she's obviously in the running. She does have a good horse this year, so I think there's a good shot she'll be selected, but she's not yet.
Seniority in there.
Yeah.
They haven't fully. It's coming in the next. We'll have a lot to talk about on our next show. So excited already. I know. And watch parties. I got a text about a watch party. I think the Olympics has released the schedule. I have a feeling it will be on Clip My Horse. You may have to get a subscription to that, but I think you will enjoy
NBC did a really good job of covering everything last time, too. So we'll see what they're going to be up to. But yeah.
If it's 2 a.m, guys, I'm up. You know what I'm doing. I got my popcorn. I am ready.
What is Paris time right now? So they are 6 hours difference?
6 hours. Okay. Yeah, same as Germany. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, and I will say, when you go into the FN. Yeah. When you go into the FN in Germany, because, I was there with my kiddos a few weeks ago, there's just a casual picture of her and Luca Beerbaum, the greatest of all time. And you're there's just a casual picture. Shouldn't there be a shrine or something? I think there should be a shrine.
Where's the big statue?
Yeah, statue, something. She needs something. She's just got a little picture up there. What? In the lobby? She's the GOAT.
So I wonder if she has to be up there too with forget just equestrian. She has to be in the top 10 or 20 of Olympians of all time with the most medals. Yeah, I'll look that up while you're recording. I'll find that out.
While we're recording, we will come back and we will bring that in because that's an amazing stat. It's just insane on how great she is and how good she is in the ring. And if you ever get a chance, she actually has a pretty good Instagram where it's in German, so it forces me to work on my German. But a lot of times there's subcaptions and you can listen to her. And we have covered her book on the book club, which we are going to have a really fun book club announcement here in a few minutes from Evie at USDF. I'm thrilled. I'm really actually very excited about this announcement, but we have gone through her book, and I would tell you, if you get a chance to read Isabel's book, do it. It's worth it. It's worth it. I should reread it. I mean, it talks about her system and how she gets horses and how she does things and her team and the amount of horses she goes through. I mean, it's a pretty cool story on how she does it. And obviously that's how you become the greatest of all time.
15th. She's 15th on the list of all the athletes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, well, Michael Phelps kind of has the lead there with 28.
Swimmers get more medals. That's the other thing, though, is swimmers do get more medals,
and gymnastics,
right? Depending
too.
On,
yeah,
there's a lot of gymnasts. Like more individual.
Yeah.
She's like won the whole thing, because she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So
there's some fencing in there and some cross-country skiing and stuff like that, but yeah.
Love it.
Well, 15 ain't bad out of all the athletes that have ever competed in the Olympics.
I think that's amazing. Like, yeah. She's the GOAT. And she's actually a very nice person. I'm not going to lie. I shared an ice cream with her once. Yeah. My parents, we hosted her and she did a symposium in New Mexico, and we got to go out to dinner with Isabel. Oh. I mean, I just could barely make words. I was so excited, and she was so.
Did she wear a little tiara or a crown when she was?
No. I shared an Mexican ice cream with her.
No, but I mean, does she just walk around with a tiara or a crown on?
No, she is, and she's an attorney. She's so normal. She's an attorney. And again, I had one dinner with her in my entire life, but it was the shining star of my life. I could have died then. And she has a son, and she's a lawyer, and I mean, she's amazing. She's really a cool human. She's just a cool human. If you ever get to really research her, she's cool, and she likes Mexican ice cream.
Well, let me guess that the Germans are going to have a good shot at more medals this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think the medal game's going to be interesting, though. I mean,
the British are pretty amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. It'll be interesting. The Germans, the British,
the Dutch. The Dutch are coming up. Edward Gall is making a reappearance.
Yeah, which is, we'll see in their orange coats. I'm sorry if you're Dutch and you love the orange shad bellies. I can't get behind it, but good for you.
You're so conservative,
They're a huge fan.
I'm so conservative. I'm so boring. I'm sorry. I just can't get behind it.
You have to admire them, though. Their team spirit is the top.
I own it.
Oh,
I own it.
There is nobody better at cheering than the Dutch. I mean, they got that down.
Own it. They own it. I mean, I'll give them that. I will give them that. And I am sure to put one of those coats on, if you're a Dutch rider, I mean, it's the pinnacle, right? It's like our coat. If you ever get to put, I just want to breathe that thing. Like, just bring it over here. Let me take a look. They're too skinny. I probably couldn't get it around my arm, but it doesn't matter. I could drape it. I'll just wear it. But someday I'll ask to just drape one around me. So, all
right.
Pretty cool.
Let's go to our first guest for the day.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to come back with Evie from USDF.
Woohoo!
Frequently asked questions brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. I know my older horse will benefit from a joint supplement, but can it help my younger horse too? Yes, it can. The joints of young horses experience daily wear and tear that can lead to joint degeneration over time. A well-balanced joint supplement provides the building blocks necessary to support healthy cartilage and synovial fluid so horses stay sounder longer. Joint Armor is the product of choice for younger horses. It provides high levels of both glucosamine and chondroitin plus 100 milligrams of hyaluronic acid. Joint Armor is herb-free, so there is no worry about it testing in show horses. Betsy sent us the following comments after she started her 5-year-old quarter horse mare on Joint Armor. My vet recommended I try Joint Armor. After 10 days, I couldn't believe the difference. She is now floating across the arena and willingly forward with impulsion and suspension. I am thrilled. She is happier too, ears up and a soft eye. Thank you for such a great product. You can learn more about Joint Armor at kppusa.com. Got questions about your feeding program? We can help. Email Karen at questions@kppusa.com or call us at 859-873-2974.
Well, tonight we are really excited to have Evelyn Lancione. She is the USDF Member Coordinator on the program. Evie, welcome to your first USDF podcast.
Thank you. It's so fun to be on board.
I know, because you are going to be our coordinator. And so if you have any questions, everybody, at the end of the show, you're going to get an email on who to chat with, and you'll know her voice. But Evie, tell us all a little bit about yourself. I know a little bit about you, but I want to learn more. So tell us all.
Yes. So I have been a dressage girl for probably 18 years now. I grew up riding lesson horses, finally got my own horse when I was 14 and started competing. So dressage has been my whole life. I've always been the crazy horse girl, and I embrace it fully now. I have been with USDF for about almost exactly a year, actually. I started out as education administrative coordinator and have been cranked up a notch 2 times in the year that I've been there. And now I'm the member education coordinator. So getting a little more responsibility and getting a little more involved in kind of the grand scheme of USDF, which is really fun.
So fun. So fun. And we have to spill the beans because I actually knew you in college. You were one of my students. Yeah.
Yes.
You were in my college class. So
was that sport horse industry?
Yeah. So
that
crazy.
was one of my favorite classes.
Just saying. I mean, everyone, I paid her to say that. Don't you worry. But we're really excited because I knew her before. And so to see her rise in USDF has been so fun. And that's kind of how our relationship started. And then obviously we were talking about the podcast together and how, USDF, we can continue our relationship. But then our book club came up, and I have to be honest, I'm really, really proud of this one. USDF kind of came to me and said, hey, been watching the podcast. We see that the book club is super successful, right? So I'm going to let you take it away because this is an exciting announcement that we started here on the podcast.
Yes, well, we were inspired by the Dressage radio show book club, and there has been talk of USDF starting a book club for a few years now. So I am lucky enough to get to kind of push that project forward, and we're going to be launching it at the beginning of July. So just about a week from now.
I know. So we're getting the scoop because, guys, we were the inspiration because we've done so well with the book club, and we're thrilled to have Megan on board too. And we've been chatting about it and as it's going to expand. So tell us a little bit about, obviously we've had our own book club and everybody, there is a list. It's on, and we'll repost it. I have to remember where it was, but I will find that out and make sure that we get it reposted. All the books we've done in the past, which are a lot, I think it's about 30 books. Wow. Ruth is always taking care of us on that. She's wonderful. But now we're going to go and be a little bit more organized, and it's going to be each quarter, right?
Yes. So we're going to do 4 books a year. Each one will be followed by a webinar, kind of like the virtual education series that we do. We're going to do our very best to get as many authors to join us for the webinars as we can, just because how cool is it to have those industry professionals and experts in their fields come on and talk to us about, the stuff that we're reading about that they've put out.
Absolutely. And we're going to have that. We will have the author on the podcast. That's part of it is we'll announce the book. We'll get the author on. It's very exciting, our book, but that's starting in July, but that author may not be able to come for a little bit because of some things happening in Paris. But once that,
just some
once
little,
the Olympics
little
are over,
things,
a little Olympic game situation. But after the Olympics, we'll have the author on. We'll do an interview on the author about the book, about themselves. And then the webinar will come back a little bit later through USDF, right? And that would be open to all members.
Correct. And registration is free. Same with the virtual education series. So we'll have a link. We're going to have a web page actually on the USDF website that's completely dedicated to the book club. It'll detail the plan for the year, what books we're going to read, what quarter, when we project the webinars and the podcast to be. We have a ton of links to every possible place you can listen to the podcast. We'll make sure that all the book club episodes are listed on there too, just so that no one misses out on, any of the good stuff that we're all working so hard on.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Team effort.
I'm excited that I felt like the chosen one when my supervisor asked if, I was interested. And I said, oh, I'm a huge dressage nerd and a bookworm, so why not combine them? And I think a lot of our membership is as well.
Right. And so we're also hoping to get some GMOs involved, right?
Yes, we're going to do, well, first of all, Trafalgar Square Books, who is going to be providing us with a discount to all of our members who are in the book club. They're going to also help GMOs by doing book fair fundraisers so the GMOs can benefit from that. And USDF will have sort of a competition to see what GMO and what region has the highest percentage of membership participation in the book club. And we are hoping to get some kind of something of value to reward them aside from just the title. You know, bragging rights are always great. And I think that's a lot of what dressage is. You know, we don't necessarily win money like the jumpers, but
come on, that ribbon is really worth a lot of money. Yeah, that ribbon is really, I've got some $1 million ribbons, I think, at some point. So,
yeah, I think we've all got a trunk of them in our house somewhere.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we shout out to Martha at Trafalgar Square. She has been wonderful. She actually did an interview with us. It was a wonderful interview if you wanted to look it up and to tell her story as the editor at Trafalgar Square. But she also just has always been a super supporter of us with the book club. When Philip and I had it, she was always wonderful. And so I know she was excited about the new kind of updated version that we get to do and a collaboration between us and USDF, which always makes us happy because that's what we're here to do. So
yeah, she was totally on board with all. She had a whole plan, give a discount to all of our members. It's going to be exciting, and she's going to be super helpful. She already has been.
I love it. I love it. So again, where can everybody kind of we are a week early on the podcast. So this will be coming out, and it may be a couple days till the actual launch at USDF, but it will be coming, right?
Mm-hmm. So the plan is we're going to have the webpage live on July 1st, and there's going to be a press release coming out any day now. I got to give marketing the go ahead to release it when it's ready. It'll just kind of give people a little rundown of the plan.
And we'll try and get that on our Facebook page too, and make sure that everybody can see it. And maybe we'll talk and see if we can get that also in the show notes. So everybody, once it's released, that everyone can kind of have a place to go and find out. But what is the first book we're going to review?
So in honor of the Olympics, we are reading Debbie McDonald's book, Riding Through, first. And that is why we'll have to wait a little bit to get her on our show, and because she'll be in Paris having hopefully the most amazing time.
Absolutely. And coaching the best team for sure.
I'm so excited.
I think we're all I'm already getting Olympic fever, everybody. I'm so excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for toothpicks in my eyes because I will be watching at 3 a.m. Anything that's on. Doesn't matter. I can't wait.
I'm on Paris time now already. I'm ready.
I'm ready. We're ready. I love it. So Riding Through with Debbie McDonald, that will be the first book. And then just kind of thinking forward to convention, right? I mean, there's some talk of some situation at convention as well, right?
Yes, we would really like to have sort of one of our featured education sessions at convention be a book club discussion where, people are always asking, can we network more at convention? And I think that this would be such a fun way to kind of spur that along. Pardon my pun.
Yes,
but
love it.
We're going to be doing Janet Foy's dressage for the not so perfect horse and have her, lead that discussion at convention because she's always great about being present and she's a great, discussion leader. So we're really excited to kind of get it in live action as well.
Live action, and Megan and I will be there too. So you'll get to, if you haven't met us in person, you get to meet us in person, which will be great. Well,
I think I'll be there too, which is exciting.
You'll meet the whole team.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yay. And there may be a little competition. We're working on that right now, everybody. Hold tight. But if it's me, I want a little competition and who read the book and all that stuff. And so we're going to make it fun. And we're just thrilled with this partnership. And we hope that there'll be many more to come. And we're thrilled to have Evie as our USDF representative. So Evie, can you tell how, if people have advanced questions or they have USDF questions, guys, that's one of the reasons we're going to be working with Evie too, is there's stuff that comes out of USDF. And I feel like I'm pretty plugged in, Megan's pretty plugged in, but things happen that I don't even know. I'm like, when did that come out? So we're going to try and that's every month we're going to go through like what's happening at USDF. What are the new things? Obviously we have regionals coming up, nationals coming up, NAYC coming up. So we have a lot of things, right?
It always seems like we have a lot of things going on. I was told when I first started working at USDF that there's a slow season, but I've been there a year now and there's not been a slow season. There's always something in the works. So yes, I will be providing all the insight I can get from every department within USDF, nosing around, and we will all be, the first to know.
I love it. I love being the first to know. I love it.
I know.
That's
Doesn't it
gonna
make
be
you feel
fun.
special?
Yeah, it really does. That's why we want everybody to listen to the show so they can hear it. Well, I love
Exactly.
it. Well, Abby, fantastic. So this is our first time. Well done, my friend. But how can our listeners kind of find you online, or if they have USDF questions, because I know you can get them to the right people if that's not your role. How can they find you online?
Well, I'll give them my easier email address that's not my last name because that's just too hard. It's it's education@usdf.org. Those emails go directly to me. We are going to have a book club email. Those will go directly to me. The Safe Sport emails go to me if you all have questions about that.
That's really important. Absolutely. And any other questions, Abby will help you, which is great to have somebody over there to help us. She's literally 10 minutes at the office from my farm. So sometimes I just go over there. It's easier. But now I just call Abby and ask her what's going on. So I love it. Well, welcome to the team. We're so thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
Well, and I also want to really thank the book club working group. They've been great. We've been working pretty hard on this, and I'm thrilled to have been part of it. So, Abby, thanks so much for spurring this along, pun intended. And we look forward to many more fun, exciting adventures and to hear a little bit more about what we're going to do at convention in December.
Yes, we're super excited. And thank you so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to getting involved.
Savvy Feeder is the pasture hay feeder made with the industry's best poly materials and is safe on teeth, lips, and gums. It is freestanding, it's safe for shod horses, and enables horse owners to slow feed hay in a low, natural foraging position anywhere. I use mine every day. Bingo is currently eating out of it right now. The Savvy feeders are faster to fill than hay nets or bags. They make hay meals typically last hours longer, mimicking foraging for grass, keeping the GI tract active, and that will save you money. There are 3 great sizes to accommodate all hay types. Savvy feeders are invented, assembled, and distributed by horse people for horse people in the U.S. There's a 30-day, 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, and replacement parts are available, meaning your feeders last for many years.
And of course, Reese, you can find them at savvyfeeder.com. That's SAVVY feeder.com.
Next up is Lisa Lemke. She is the newest USDF Gold medalist.
Woo!
And she's
Woo-hoo!
Lisa is from Madison, Wisconsin, and trains out of my barn, Lindenhof Equine Sports Centrum. Lisa, how are you tonight? How are you feeling now that you're a new gold medalist?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling a great sense of relief.
Woo-hoo! Way to go, Lisa, gold medalist. That's no joke. Well, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. And it is truly a sense of relief because let me tell you, people, I did not just assume it was going to happen. I know that's what you should do for your mindset, but I had begun to just ride for the ride and not for the score. So I truly do feel a sense of relief. It's genuine.
And Lisa also has been a listener, Megan, of ours from probably, I don't know, how long has it been?
Well, 8 years as an auditor. I went back and found my welcome to the auditor room
Which was
post.
at the beginning of the auditors, actually.
Yes, early on.
Pretty early,
Yeah.
yep. And then I probably listened for 2 years before that, so probably about 10 years.
Well, you should be getting a watch or something soon, shouldn't you, after 10 years?
Something.
My pin.
I'll send you a sticker, okay?
I love stickers.
Oh, Lise, tell us how this story began. How did you get into dressage and your gold medal?
Well, I have another connection, Glenn, for you. So Darley Newman rings a bell.
Oh, yeah.
Of
The
course.
travel expert.
Yes. So I actually, when I was about to turn 40, I was watching PBS, wild woman that I am, and I saw Darley Newman's Equitrucking, and I just randomly popped into my head, well, I'm going to do that. I hadn't been riding for 20 years, and I thought, I'm going to get back in the saddle, and I'm going to do that. I honestly did not overthink it. I just acted. So I was just kind of trying to get saddle miles so I could build up to this 5-day riding trip in Ireland. And I was at one place, and then I got a recommendation from someone there. Oh, you should also try this other place, Megan McIsaac, Lindenhof Bike. Sent her an email. We went over there, started riding a very tall horse, Welly, to get in shape for my riding vacation. Never thought anything of it. Didn't care what dressage was. Was just getting ready for my trip. Went off on my trip, came back, and I've never left. And now I own my own horse, and I'm a USDF Gold medalist. Wow. I got sucked in.
I'm so proud of you.
That's huge. So Lisa, tell us a little bit about, because riding is not your professional job, right? So you're doing this after work. Tell us a little bit about your schedule and how you do it.
That's correct. So I'm talking to all the adult amateurs out there. I feel you. So we have to work. We have to have our jobs to make the money to pay for the whole thing, right? So I'm like a weekdays job. I go Tuesdays and Thursdays after work to the barn, and then I always ride Saturdays and Sundays as well. Megan can attest. You can feel free to throw me right under the bus, Megan. Tuesdays and Thursdays are not my strongest rides. I'll admit. I'm stiff. I've been sitting at my desk all day. Weekends are much better, but I fit it in, I commit to it. I rarely take a day off from that schedule, and I just have the job to support it.
And tell us about that amazing horse you have.
Yes, I would love to. How much time do we have? 12 hours? No. So Megan, the first horse that I showed dressage was Megan's wonderful Grand Prix horse, Huey, who after 2 trial rides, she finally broke down and agreed to let me lease him. I'm not sure why, I have to be honest, but thank God for that. And then I was a brand newbie. I was brand new. It was so painful, Reese. It was horrendous. Anyway, moving on from that, when Huey retired, Megan and I sat down and talked. I was addicted at that point to riding this high quality, beautiful horse. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to buy one. It really wasn't in the cards, but now I'm sucked in. I am fully in this and I can't give it up. So Megan was on a trip to Denmark and she was doing some horse shopping. And I said, well, if you see something, I had given her my list, which included a few requests, including a tall horse, which she did find for me. And I bought him sight unseen from Denmark on Megan's recommendation. She had 2 candidates and I picked this one, Overgaard's Pamanov, 17.3. Met the minimal requirements, and over he came, and the rest is history. I absolutely love him, every fiber of my being, and Megan couldn't have done a better job picking a horse for me. And a sign of trust, I literally wired the money. I'd seen like a few photos of him and maybe 15 seconds of video.
And how long have you had him?
I have had him since March of 2015. So it's 9 years now.
Wow.
It's been a journey, hasn't it?
It's been a journey. I will say the first 6 months, he was a little bit in question. He had a rough transition to the United States of America. He wanted to go back to Denmark, but we stuck with him and we worked through all the anxiety and the introduction process, and now he has a human slave in the form of me, and he has everything he could ever want, and he doesn't even want to think about those dark days when he lived in Denmark.
I got to tell you, every time I look at a picture of you on this horse is enormous, and he's not lacking for victuals either.
Oh,
he's a big horse.
He is, and that's another. I'll put in another plug for all the adult amateurs out there who have large, big moving horses. Again, we ride as much as we can, but I ride mostly one horse, almost exclusively, to the best of my ability 4 times a week. That sitting trot, yeah, it's a real thing. You got to work at that, and
yes,
yeah.
Especially on this one, your legs are out wider than most. I mean, and I'm saying that, I own the fattest pony in the world. So, I'm there with you.
And remember, she ordered him, but she is the best mom. There couldn't be a better mom, really. It's really, really exciting to have a student come from the very beginning all the way to Grand Prix. I'm so proud.
Yeah. That's
Aw.
Lisa, that's huge. And I have a technical question because the Grand Prix is literally no joke, right? I mean, I think you get your first scores at your gold medal at the I1, and then you go to the Grand Prix. So, because that's a different step up, right? I mean, that's a whole different, I kind of feel like you're on a roller coaster, a really quick one that jostles you a lot. So tell everybody, I mean, what's the difference sort of that you had to step up for the Grand Prix to make that happen?
Oh, 100%. So first of all, I did have a huge benefit in that I was able to show my lease horse, Megan's Huey, a few times Grand Prix before he retired. It was mostly mileage for me, but wow, it was so helpful because he truly took care of me and showed me the ropes. I took that to my horse Pammy. Over at Spamanov, we call Pammy. I took that to my horse Pammy, who was not a schoolmaster he was looking to me. Where Huey took care of me, Pammy needed me to be the leader and lead him through the Grand Prix. And my, oh my, if I hadn't already done it a couple times, I think I would have felt so much more overwhelmed. And frankly, like it might have been a mountain too high to climb. The jump from I1 to Grand Prix, we actually did do a season of I2. And I highly recommend that if you have time with your horse's career to do that, because it was enormously helpful. I don't want to say that I2 is easy, but the whole point of it is the stepping stone. And I love the stepping stone because the expectation on some of the things like sitting in the Piaffe and being able to travel a little bit, sort of being expected, that kind of thing, it really helped us and it really reduced the stress on the jump. Again, when we got to the Grand Prix, it's still hard. And I've been at the Grand Prix, this will be my 2021, 2, 3, I think this is my 4th year. And I did some other things in between, but we needed a lot of time to put that thing together and do it over and over and over and over again. And again, I'm preaching to the choir, but there's nothing like the show ring mileage. It's great to do all this stuff at home, but gosh, you need the show ring mileage. Everyone's different at the show. The horse, you. So we took as much time as we needed. And like I said, this year is the first season at Grand Prix where I really focused on my mindset over everything else. Megan's been pestering me to do it for a long time. And I finally said, this is hard stuff. I don't want to open Pandora's box, but I did it. And I really was riding for the pursuit of improvement. I was riding for myself, for my horse, and for Megan. And I let go that chasing of the score. And then what do you think happened? I got the score.
Yeah, I always think getting the medals, and I think this is in general, I love when my students get their medals done because I'm like, okay, so now we get to really learn the level and we can get the real work starts. And that is the Grand Prix. I mean, I don't think until you've shown minimum 20 Grand Prix to where you start to not feel like it's a disaster all the time. I mean, you have to really ride it a lot and show it. And that is the difference, right? Everyone's like, oh, I ride Grand Prix. No, go down the center line with the coat on at a horse show. Then let's talk. That's a whole different ball game. And I do think that's true. Yeah, I
agree completely. And the other thing, Reese, is you won't believe what I said to Megan. I promised Megan and my horse Pammy, if you get that last 60, you're done, buddy. We're going to go to the freestyle, the Grand Prix freestyle, and we're not going to do the Grand Prix anymore. Well, as soon as I got my 60, I said, dang it, I'm not done with this level. I've scratched the surface. I'm going back. So we are toying now with doing freestyle, and so it's proof. I really wasn't riding just for that last 60. I am not done. I want to go back. I never thought I would say that.
Yes. And what do you think is the hardest thing in the Grand Prix?
Zigzag.
I was going to say, it's almost always the zigzag. Zigzag's brutal, guys. It's pretty hard. Yeah. Because first you have to get the count, then you have to get the organization, then you have to get the quality. And you get it, and then you're like, oh, I just opened that box. So that's pretty much everyone says the zigzag. Yeah.
Can I have a number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. The next hardest thing with a tall horse is except for the last center line, the first two passage piaffe tours are so short and they come up so quickly. And my horse is like through them in 5 seconds flat. And I have no time to adjust and get it. It's like, oh my gosh, you practice your passage and piaffe at home. And then until you get in that show ring, wow, the white fences are like right there. And suddenly there's another one and you have to turn and yikes. So that's my number 2.
Yeah, and remember, you ordered it.
I did order it, but then when we hit that final center line, we just have a big breath, and we've got so much space, and we kill that one. That's where we shine.
That's the money shot. That last center line, there's lots of points on that center line. And, we train it every day. And I always put on some fun music and I'm like, let's rock and roll. It's our last center line, which is fantastic. But also with the zigzag, you do the zigzag and then that's I think the hardest part of the Grand Prix, because you go zigzag ones to pirouettes. And that is really, really hard. So, and just to clarify, Lisa, don't you need a 63 at the Grand Prix to go to the freestyle?
No, you don't anymore, because there was the whole discussion of it, and then it was and then the change was reversed. So the 63 is up to, I'm not a USDF official, but I believe it's through the 4th level, and then for FEI it's 60.
Okay.
That was a great big discussion at one of those at one of the conventions.
Yes.
A couple years ago.
It was, very, very big. Very, very big. So, but that makes sense. Okay. I just wanted to check that because I wasn't sure. So,
yes, I think briefly it was, and then it was changed back just for the FEI.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, so next is getting better at the Grand Prix. That's the plan.
Well, I have one more Grand Prix freestyle score I need. I have one, and I need one more, and then I will have achieved my diamond. So my USDF diamond achievement. So we are currently focused on the freestyle now, but I am wanting to go back to the Grand Prix. I'm just going to have to tell Pammy I changed my mind and bribe him with some apples.
More bribe.
And because I'm not ready to give it up yet. So definitely, I never anticipated having a hunger to go back to it. I just wanted to be done with it. I wanted to be past it. And then the mindset work has completely changed that. So so the rest of the season we'll be doing both, I think.
I love it. Well, I hope to see you at regionals and at nationals for sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, girl. Oh, yeah. I love it. Well, Lisa, we can't thank you enough for being just a great supporter of our program here, but also just being an inspiration to all of us, because the Grand Prix is no joke, my friend, and you need the whole team, and obviously with Megan and Pammy and yourself and your schedule and how you guys work that, you've been able to do it, and it's just an inspiration for us all. So thanks so much for coming on tonight.
You're welcome. Can I give one more little plug?
Yes.
I just want to tell all the other adult amateurs, and it's not like professionals don't struggle, but I'm just speaking to my people right now. I want all the other adult amateurs, really at any level. Guys, we're a community. Support each other. One of the things that has given me such a boost through the lows of this journey is when my fellow quote unquote competitors, who might even be in the same class with me, we're cheering each other on, because we all want success for one another. So I'll end with that, because that is meant so much to me. And I just would love to see that joy and love spread throughout the community. Let's all lift each other up and support your competitors at every level.
No, I love it. That's our feeling here on our show. Megan and I, we've talked a lot about it. And, that is what the sport is. At the end of the day, I always say we're not curing cancer. We're riding horses in circles. And this is such a hard journey. There are going to be highs, and they're going to be very high and very low. And I think we all need to support each other. So I just love that. I think Megan and I can absolutely second and third that as well. So thank you for that message.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
And Lisa, thanks for being a supporter all these years too of the Horse Radio Network.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I love to play a tiny, tiny role in the success of this amazing community you have built, Glenn.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Easy, effective, and eco-friendly fly control starts with Fly Predators. Fly predators are the organic, natural way to dramatically minimize your fly problem. Learn more about fly predators and other Spalding Labs fly control solutions at Spalding, spalding-labs.com.
Well, Megan, you and I get to do a trainer tip, which I'm really excited about. People missed our tip. And I was teaching at the Young Rider camp last week, and I texted you, and I'm like, every kid made a comment that they are really good in the warm up, and then they go to the test and it's not as good. So we're going to talk about how not to just win the warm up, because it's really common. I coached like 16 kids that day, and they all said the same thing. So we worked on that, and I said, oh, Megan, this is really a theme. Let's talk about it. So I'll just let you start. Like, what are your thoughts on that and this for a tip?
I would say it's a theme even for myself. So like at the last horse show, I had 3 horses, and 2 of them, I rocked the warm up and I rocked the show arena. My own personal horse, it's like we passed that little white fence, and I have like all these moments of desperation. Maybe it's because it can't be true, because I trained him to Grand Prix. Yeah. And I don't know what it is about that Grand Prix test and my horse. And
it's also very hard.
I win the warm up, but with my baby horse, I'm training her, and she's still green at the flying lead changes, but I sit there and I am rock steady. So I'm actually currently working on this right now, and I'm studying, I'm taking your tip, and next week I'm studying it with my coach, videos, and what I do differently, because I just get handsy. Whereas on my other 2 horses, I'm solid, quiet. I don't know what it is. I get desperate.
Yeah. Well, I think that's normal, right? I think one of the things that happens, right, is you're with your team, right? When you're in your warm up, I mean, even if you're in there by yourself, you usually have someone with you, or you're with yourself. You've really trained it. I think one of the things that you really need to do is literally practice in a different location than the test. So I'm like looking at my window, and I just have one arena. I just have my indoor arena, and it opens. It's big, but it's open. So one of the things we do is actually we train in the field next door, and then we stop. We have a drink of water, right? We basically mimic, and then we will go into the ring. And this, I try to do at any location where I am. You know, some of my farms, we're lucky we have 2 arenas. So we warm up in one, we stop, we have a discussion, or some horses, it just works that we trot them right into the next ring, right? Like, so I think that's number one part of it. I think it's practicing leaving kind of your safe zone and going to the test. I think it's also super important that you practice, like literally start to finish. Like, let's practice, or say, you know, our test is at 6:30. All right. So we will practice and go backwards, right? So what time do we need to be braiding? What time do we need to be getting on? And if we think it's 30 minutes, we will get on at 30 minutes and we will start our warm up, and we will actually time that so that we know exactly what to do in that warm up going to the test. And I do think that requires also, and I don't know how you feel, and definitely want your opinion on this one, because I like to practice tests. I know some horses, they will anticipate. And definitely at the lower levels, right? Especially like eventing tests, the novice and the beginner, novice and novice. Okay, I kind of see your point. Like, the courses sort of understand, but even then, like, you can write a halt, you can write a circle, you can kind of write an active run through of the test. But I really believe you need to literally practice the warm up, walking over, and then practice writing your test.
I totally agree. And I also think practicing the center line, like for me, I think as soon as I go down center line, it changes. And then I lose that outside shoulder in the corner. I'm really watching, am I on my outside rein? So I think it's very important, especially now this season. I've been riding parts of the test, or I just warm up and I actually ride the test. But I love your idea of changing even at home. Lately, I haven't been able to because it's been raining, but I think that's a super idea.
I found that's really helpful. And also, what goes on outside of the arena before you go in? I think that's a critical time, because also in the Grand Prix, like for example, you turn up the center line on the left side a lot. And I had that with bingo. I had to be able to literally go in and I would practice essentially really riding into that corner up so that I knew like coming up the center line that I had the horse I needed. Also, you also turn right a lot. Like you turn right from the center line and then you turn left the center line by the judge and then left up by A. So you do that turn a lot. And you kind of need to know that. Like I needed to like make sure, like you said, that I had my outside shoulder, that I could make that turn. And that was real. Like, yes, mom, I got you. I'm right there with you. That was super important, right? I think that was really good. But, you know, it's same thing with like young horses, right? Sometimes they need to go in and they need to see the ring. So some horses need to walk. Like I saw Stefan Peters walk at Aachen. I was like, oh my God, he's my hero.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing, Stefan? But he knew exactly. A lot of riders will go into posting trot.
Yep,
Respect,
I was
man.
just gonna say that. Yeah, posting trot or even stretch them down in a long and low. I think I saw Isabel do that with Gigolo. I was like, what is she
does it with a lot of horses.
Yeah, and posting and go in.
Yeah, and they know that. They have done that with their horses. Some horses need to go in and like move, extended canter, gallop, in, you know, half fast leg yield, you know, really move them. So I think that, you know, again, that needs to be practiced with your coach. And at the FEI levels, like you really need to have that to a science really. But also you also need to know, like I've had it happen twice where in freestyles where the music has come on and it scared the horses.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know about you, but like I crank it up a little bit when we are starting all my riders that do freestyles. I'm like, okay, hang on. Like, cause sometimes that noise of just the music coming on really unnerves some horses.
Or the static, you know, like it'll, and then the other thing just in the freestyles to practice is stopping the music, because sometimes I've had that happen. I was at a show and they restarted it 3 times and I had to enter 3 times. And by the 3rd time, the horse was done. I mean, we were like,
I've entered.
We're done.
What are we doing? Yeah, we did this already. We have done this 3 times. Yeah, no, I think that's also, you know, and I think that I even make riders, if it's not going well in that, so that is very much, we're going to say like, you know, Thursday we are riding tests. And I will say, I will give a shout out to Stanley Wiggs. She's my longtime sponsor and we own multiple horses together. And for the longest time she would come on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. And we had essentially a viewing of all the horses. But a lot of times she would make me ride a test, or I would ride a test on Thursday, especially with our Big Mike horse at the time. Like it was really good for him. I had to warm up and ride the test, ride the test. And I got better at doing that. And I think people shy away from that because they're like, oh, my horse is going to anticipate. My feeling is some anticipation is needed.
Yep.
Not
and
all
then
the time.
The other thing I was going to say, so for a rider like me, I over prepare. And I think sometimes I make my warm up too long. And especially for Grand Prix, right? So I have a lazier horse. It's different if you have a hotter horse, but I have a lazier horse. And sometimes I just don't trust, you know, and learning to trust. And I should just really supple him, maybe 12 minutes and go in.
I was going to say, bingo was a 12-minute warm up. I would get on at 15 minutes. I would like be putting my foot in the stirrup at 15 minutes. And that was it. Like, and a lot of times he would have come out in the morning and stretched, but it was the same. Like he'd already been walking and moving and that kind of stuff. But like the actual warm up was 12 minutes. And that is really hard as a Grand Prix rider. But then you think, you know, you have 12 minutes, let's say 15 minutes, and the test is about 8.5 minutes.
Yep.
And then you've got around the ring. So let's just put it at 10. So you're already at 22 minutes of sort of full blast. And these are really quite fit horses. Every horse is different. And that's part of this is knowing your test. And that's what kind of coming back to my kids that week that we talked about. I'm like, you guys need to be really comfortable about your horses and knowing your warm up, but also knowing yourself in the ring. So Megan, you said like in this kind of goes into coaches and, you know, if you're a parent and you know your kid, like sometimes Megan knows my sister as well. My sister is very chill. Like she's very type B. She's very chill. She has to handle me all the time. And I'm very type A. So we were very different in our preparation.
Wait a minute.
styles.
I hadn't noticed that. I just.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn.
Not even a little.
Kind of had to come in here. Very different in our prep styles. And Lindsay is very chill. And like Lindsay wanted a lot of activity around. Activity is my nemesis. Like,
yeah, I don't want it.
I don't want it. And you have to be very respectful for your riders. I have a 1 hour rule. My husband doesn't even come around. He's scared of me. He's just like, I'm going to go to the bar. Or
I am the
with Glenn.
same way.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And people
he knows
don't get it at
well,
all.
My people know. My people know. And it's not to be mean. It's just like when I'm competing, I need a minute, right? I just need, I literally only have my groom. I mean, whoever is grooming, and that is literally one person. And that is really, that person and my coach are the only people I will talk to within that hour. Because I can't, and even my coach, like he'll come in if I need him to come in, but Scott's really good at prepping riders and he knows like, I'll meet you there. And he's always there when I walk up and he helps me get on. And, you know, like we have a system that is so critical to know. And if I don't have Scott, like my groom knows exactly what I need. And I'm not rude to anyone, but I'm like, hey, I'm in prep mode. I mean, or my groom will even say like, she's in prep mode. Like, I think people, they will respect it. And if people have struggled with that, I just tell them like, I'm sorry, like this is my time right now and I need it for competition. And I, as a trainer, I don't know about you, Megan, but like being in Florida, I have a little bit the luxury that I don't always have to compete with my students.
Right.
And because I can compete in Florida. Now there's times that they'll overlap and obviously regionals and nationals that overlaps. Yep. But my students are all, you know, they can all go on their own and they have to. Mm-hmm.
They have to. They have to be able to do both. Now, what do you do when people talk to you in the warm-up?
I don't respond.
I hate it. Yeah.
I don't respond.
I try not to.
I just don't respond. And I don't mean to be rude. And then sometimes I'll see them later and be like, hey, I was in zone. But usually, you know, once you got to get in the FEI rings, like people are a little bit the same, right? And that certainly in Florida and when you're in a CDI, that's pretty common. So if you do see someone in the warm up or your friend says, hey, I need some time, and it's okay to tell people that. I think, you know, your friends understand like, hey, I'm in prep mode and talk about it before. So it's not like, oh, she's just, what does she have for breakfast? You know, it's just like, hey, I need to prep right now. Like I need to focus. And I think people all respect that, you know, at some point we're all competing.
That's why I love California because no one really knows who I am.
Yeah.
And they're already focused on themselves. Whereas I love Wisconsin and the people in Wisconsin are wonderful people. But when I go to a horse show, it's like a family reunion. Yes. But I'm trying to work and everybody wants to talk to me. And it's hard. It's hard to stay focused in the zone when they're all in the warm up. So yeah,
I have that in Kentucky too. I have that here too. And I think some of it is people know me enough now. Like I'm not trying to be rude, and I will go back later or send them a message like, "Hey, I don't mean to be rude. Yeah, I'm just prepping." And most people are very respectful of that. And if somebody gets their feelings hurt a little bit, I'm like, hey, come on, I'm not trying to be rude. I just, this is my time. And I think people will learn to respect that. And that is something that I just had to learn how to do. So, you have to get in your zone. You have to be prepared. You have to focus and train the warm up, in my opinion, and be real focused. And like you said, like you're looking at your coach now, like, what do I do in the Grand Prix that's different? Because
it's different. And it's great to have 3 horses to compete. They're all very different. I have my baby horse who it's her first year at 3rd level. So we are doing things and I'm just feel like we're doing it. And then I have my sale horse, which is, I'm just enjoying the ride. She's phenomenal. She's a small tour horse. And then I have my Grand Prix horse that I train. And I'm totally different with him than I am with my girls. So it's just a cool little place to be aware of and I'm winning the warm up with my Grand Prix horse, but I'm winning the show ring with my other 2. So I'm still winning.
You're still winning. And I think, again, this is, there's never been 100%. And
it's a game.
It's the game. You just, every time you go out, you learn a little bit more and you're like, I can't do that. Or I got to be a little bit better. And I do think that Yeah, it's just a sport. And so don't be frustrated, everybody. Just know this as your tip. Like we're still working on it too. And you have to show a lot to get really comfortable. But you also have to train the warm up. You have to train the process. And I tell people too, it's really hard to get good at something you do maybe 3 to 5 times a year.
Exactly.
So I think there's some level of, if you're struggling with that, you really have to step back and compete more. And if that's schooling shows, if that's even a dry run, I have friends in the area where I'm like, hey, can I like wear my coat and braid? And I think that's important too. Actually, that's a tip. You have to braid and you have to wear a coat. You can wear your regular breeches under, whatever, but the horses know the difference, right? You put on a different outfit. You probably put on different boots. You probably put on a different helmet. Like you got to wear all that stuff so that is part of that prep. I think some people have different tack. If you have different tack.
I couldn't do that.
I know some of my adventures have different tack, and I used to have different bridles, like show bridles, and I don't do that anymore. That was when I was younger. No,
I couldn't do that. No.
Well, I think
it's the same.
It has to be the same. Yeah. And
they got to be the same. Wow.
Yeah. So if you're doing that, think about it, talk to your coach about it. Like, I know it's pretty, but just clean your tack, buy a really nice bridle, and you're good to go if you clean it. But I think that a lot of people, if you do change anything, that has to be in that prep time, because if you don't, that becomes an issue too. If you're changing tack, and, don't change your horse's feed, don't change, try to keep everything as similar as you can. Obviously you're at a horse show grounds, but if your horse gets turned out, maybe you need to be hand walking him. Maybe he needs a little lunge in the morning just to move around, do all of that. That's part of this prep stuff. My event horses specifically, they'll usually go out and do a pre-ride, but some dressage horses need a pre-ride. You need to go out in the morning and stretch them. Like, for example, Bingo. Bingo's dumb on a lunge line. He's going crazy. He's 18. I'm not changing it. Like, I can't. Nope. He's so stupid on a lunge line that I have to get on him. I just get on in the morning and walk him around. I just, put a little music on and we go, and just 20 minutes, just kind of move him. He's also not great to hand walk. So
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to do that with that horse, and that's knowing your horse. If you don't go to 4 p.m, don't keep him in a stall, get him out a couple times, even 2 or 3 times, or ride him or lunge him, or, some activity, ride, lunge, walk, whatever. That'll also help you not to lose the warm up, Yeah, but it's a game. If anybody wants to send us a message, we love it. Send us a message on what you do, and we'll put it up on how it felt like you also win the test, not just the warm up, because it's a very common. If it's happened to you, don't feel bad. It happens to all of us.
Happened to me this weekend.
Yeah, happened to me this weekend. Yeah, exactly. Well, I love it. Well, Megan, this has been such a fun show. We're thrilled about the USDF book club announcement. So you've heard it here first, a couple days before the announcement, but the next book is Riding Through with Debbie McDonald. We're going to go in quarters now, everybody. So,
get your books.
Well, get your books, Trafalgar Square, horseandriderbooks.com. They've been great over there. And it sounds like there's a discount code. We don't have that yet, but as soon as we get it, we'll let you know, so you can join the fun. Well, as always, you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our page at horseradionetwork.com. Search Dressage Radio Show. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
And my website is lindenhoff.com, and my email is lindenhoffllc@gmail.com. And we would like to thank our friends and show sponsors, Kentucky Performance Products and Savvy Feeders. If you'd like to support our show and the Horse Radio Network, you can do that through the Auditor program found at thehorseradionetwork.com. Keep on kicking on until the next show. Talk to you guys soon. Woohoo!